Can you transfer a domain during the renewal period? Have you ever wondered if you can transfer a domain while it is in its renewal period? This is a common question among domain owners, and the answer is a bit more complex than a simple yes or no. Let's break it down. Yes, you can transfer a domain during its renewal period, which includes the time shortly before or after it expires. However, there are some important conditions and timing considerations to keep in mind. First, let's talk about the renewal grace period. This is a time frame that follows the official expiration date of the domain. For many generic top-level domains, this grace period usually lasts around 30 days. During this time, you can transfer your domain to a new registrar without losing ownership. If your domain has expired but is still within this grace period, most registrars will allow the transfer to proceed. However, some registrars have specific rules. For instance, GoDaddy has an 18-day grace period for many generic top-level domains. After this period, the domain enters a redemption phase, and transferring it becomes much more complicated. Now, if you want to transfer your domain, it must be unlocked. This means you need to disable any transfer locks that might be in place. Additionally, you will need to obtain an authorization code from your current registrar. This code is sometimes referred to as an extensible provisioning protocol code. It is also important to note that domains cannot be transferred within 60 days of their initial registration or a recent transfer. This is a rule set by the Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers. If your domain is close to expiration, it is often a good idea to renew it before transferring. This helps avoid any risks of losing ownership during the transfer process. Some registrars recommend renewing first to ensure that you maintain uninterrupted ownership of your domain. When planning a transfer, start the process well before your domain expires. Check your current registrar's policies regarding grace periods and transfer restrictions. If you have privacy protection services enabled, be sure to disable them, as they can block transfer authorization. Once a domain enters the redemption period, you typically have to pay a redemption fee and renew it before you can transfer it. This can add extra costs and complications to the process. In summary, transferring a domain during its renewal period is possible, but it requires careful timing and coordination with your registrar. Always plan ahead and confirm the status of your domain and the policies of your current registrar before initiating a transfer. This way, you can avoid any accidental loss of ownership or service interruptions.